Hi, everyone. Pastor Scott here. It is time for our Tuesday devotion for November 28th. We're going to jump over Romans and First Corinthians this week, books that we've been studying in depth at church recently, and go and read Second Corinthians together. The church at Corinth had been struggling with divisions and quarrels, as we've been talking about on Sunday mornings. But for a majority of the believers, the problem had been solved by the time Paul wrote Second Corinthians. Many had repented of their sinful ways and had come back into unity with one another with the leadership of Paul. Now, Paul still felt the need to articulate a defense of him being an apostle and his message. And obviously, some in the church had apparently taken his meekness among them as a sign of weakness or a lack of authority and kind of ran with that. And you can see that in Second Corinthians chapter 10, verses 1 and 2. And these accusations led Paul to defend himself by arguing that he was on the same level as the other apostles, that he had a deep knowledge, obviously, of the Christian faith, that he had suffered just huge, profound physical punishment in the name of Christ, and that he had received visions and revelations from God that confirmed his apostleship to others. And you see that in chapter 11 and chapter 12 in Second Corinthians. Now, how do we apply this as we read this week? Well, just as Paul wrote to the church in Corinth in the wake of their repentance from divisions and quarrels, the message for today is just as clear. We need to be living in unity, but that requires us to be humbly forgive one another and to follow godly servant leaders and not do this thing on our own. We got to follow the leaders that God has placed in front of us for his church. And Second Corinthians reminds us that even as Christians, we can hurt each other and we need to forgive those who have wronged us. We see that in Second Corinthians chapter 2, verse 7. You can read that. And Paul was willing to exhort the Corinthian believers to forgive those who had fallen away and repented, even as he defended his own apostleship against vocal opposition. And it illustrates Paul's commitment, the Apostle Paul's commitment to this way of life among God's people himself. So it's a really neat book to read and to dive into, especially considering what we're looking at in his first letter in First Corinthians. So anyway, I hope you read that this week and catch some of those key points. Thursday night, we've got our Everything's Running Again this Thursday night. We've got our prayer time at 6 p.m. We've got the Bible study going through the book of 3rd John. We're going to start the first half of 3rd John this Thursday night at 7 p.m. Youth ministry is running. A lot of great things going on. So I just encourage you to be here Thursday. And then Sunday, we're starting our Christmas series for the month of December. Hope you invite some friends and are here for every single Sunday this December as we celebrate the birth of Christ. Okay? It's going to be a great time. Hope you have a blessed week, and we will see you soon.